Hi, everybody. It's Linda G, and I'm here with Mel.
Hey, Mondays with Linda and Mel.
Yep. And uh, we're not going to be the full hour because poor Lulu, something happened with her nail and it's sort of sideways and it's been bleeding. She didn't yell or anything. She's really walking. I can't see what it is. So we're going to the vet as soon as this is over.
I think she pulled a nail loose from the nail bed. And
Probably $1,000 nail job.
oh, you got that right. Hey, it says no one fights alone. And there's a little thing here. It's for oropharyngeal cancer.
Awesome.
The colors are ivory and like a maroon or wine. And I wore this to say thank you to everybody in the community, all of our supporters on YouTube who have helped me in this fight.
That's
and that's my way of saying thank you.
Did you see the doctor, by the way?
Wednesday I go, this Wednesday.
Okay, because we were talking about some more pain. Maybe there's a little bit of a yeast infection in there.
There's a little place there that looks a little bloody, and I think the scan might have come off, but on the back there's some white stuff, and I think it might be a little bit of a thrush.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, thank you all for your questions. I made the little post thing, and we also want to send huge prayers out for everyone in Maui. It's going to get up over 100.
You had said that, and the problem is, and this is going to sound like way too much information, but it's hard to find bodies because they were just charred and incinerated.
Yeah, this guy said his neighbor next door with their 2 dogs in the car, they all burned to a crisp. He said it was like Pompeii, that kind of, just, it was terrible.
Well, I guess if there's
but I do not pick up this was some sort of plant or this. I do not get that at all, you guys. And also someone on Twitter posted a little film of this woman who, by the way, they found her in another thing. She's a huge Trumpster. Her and her husband go back to their burnt house and she finds her, what's the most expensive watch? What's it called?
Rolex.
Yeah, she finds the Rolex her parents gave her when she was 18.
Wow.
And she has her nails perfect. They're not dirty. They're totally clean. And oh, look. And the people were saying that's not very cool to be sending to people who've lost everything and bodies that were gone. About this, not a feel-good story about someone who escaped. This is about a Gucci watch or a Rolex.
Well, they said that those flames, I think I might be misquoting, but could go over a mile in less than a minute.
Yes.
And, Maui's very dry. And so what I intuit happened, my guide showed me, is there was probably a lightning spark on the uplands, like Lahaina's here, and the uplands are way up here. And now you take those wind gusts, 50, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, and it smolders, and it's like blowing a flame. You get the conflagration. Now the wind blows, and it spreads those embers, and wherever they land, it starts another fire with the wind gust. And that's what happened in Lahaina. The problem is that the fire took out the sirens, it took out the cell phone service, so people weren't notified. There was no way to notify them because the infrastructure was all knocked out by the fire.
This guy said his neighbor said, oh, there's a fire. It was down the road a little bit, so he wasn't worried, so he took a shower. And he said, then the neighbor's pounding, you got to get going. And he saw nothing but embers flying by.
I saw a video where these people got their dogs, got their cats, got in the car. They were lucky. And there were power lines down, and somebody put a plywood over the power lines. It took them a couple hours to get out. But as they were driving out, as soon as they got in the car, they were driving out and they saw their house on fire.
Wow.
Was that fast? I mean, it's really fast. And so, my guides are telling me that the people who died in the fire, thank God, didn't have to suffer. And I'm not religious.
Yeah.
But my guides are telling me what happened is that superheated air, when they breathe that in, it was like instant. And so if there's no consolation in any of it, but at least they didn't have to suffer.
And also they didn't have significant roads to get out of there, correct?
Well, Lahaina, you have to realize that, Lahaina town, there's like one main road. And so now you've got all these people trying to get out, and it's just like a huge traffic jam. That's why a lot of people jumped out and got in the ocean.
Right. And some people drowned in the ocean. There was a woman talking about the guy that was next to her drowned.
I don't know what's worse, to die with breathing superheated gas or to drown in the ocean. But
I say drown. I would rather drown.
but at least many people who went into the ocean did survive. And but yeah, they don't want people going back to Lahaina, because when you find the bodies, they're really just kind of an ash shell, and they don't want people walking on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and chances are all the people that died and those that are missing will never totally be identified.
Oh, well, they might by where their location and family looking for them.
Or the fact that they disappeared and were never heard from again.
Yeah. But they're thinking it'll go over 100, and I think it will too.
Well, I heard somebody say, I think you said too, it'll go beyond, it'll go into triple digits. And
yeah,
it's really sad. It's the worst fire in
God
America.
bless them. God bless them.
Well, I donated money, and I know you posted something
I
on
posted a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I posted a bunch of stuff on mine, how to donate. So
yeah,
I donated money in the name of my teacher, Lucille Mahilani Rogers, and in the name of Linda Waiale Ali. So everybody, if you can't donate money, send a prayer. Just send a healing thought.
Energetically. Let's close our eyes now and throw out that beautiful energy right there. A lot of people feel shocky to me. Like they're still having trouble understanding this. So I send out love and direction. Angels of light and mercy, please encompass all these beautiful souls. And let the living know that they're going to be okay. Amen. Okay.
It's sad. 1 minute you have everything, and the next it's all gone.
And this one guy was talking about some guy, friend of his, a neighbor that owned 2 or 3 homes in there, against the ocean. It's paradise, that's for sure. But Pompeii and Hercules were paradise.
Well, for the lady who found the Rolex, if it had been me, I would have sold the Rolex or taken what it was worth and donated that to the people who lost everything. And that's what I would have done.
Exactly.
I think that was pretty elitist of her. I said, oh, my Rolex.
My Rolex, my parent. It's like if you find the Rolex, and it's 2 lily white couple, how sometimes the natives and the white have what they feel sometimes. Because there's still a little bitterness about the white man coming in and taking over.
Well, if you look at the Hawaiian history and what the companies did, the sugarcane companies and the pineapple companies did to Hawaii, and how they exploited the Hawaiian people, it's almost the same story that they did to the Native Americans.
I had a psychic flash with somebody yesterday. I think it was with Sterling. Anyway, I had this feeling that corporations were going to come in and buy everybody's land, offer them more than it was worth, just so they could tear that whole place down and make it a tourist center.
Well, they tried that on one of the islands, on Lanai, because it was.
Did it burn down?
No, Lanai was an island where it was all pineapples, and when the pineapple companies decided they would go to the Philippines because they could get everything together without unions, then raise the prices. For us, that's what happened. But then these big companies came in and wanted to put all these resorts on Lanai, and the Hawaiians stood up and said, no, we only want 3 or 4 resorts. And that's exactly what happened. So I think if they try to come in and put up luxury condos and hotels in old Lahaina town, the people of Hawaii will stand up and vote it down and say, absolutely not.
I don't know. There's a lot of, the natives would, but I see a lot of people take the money and run.
But I think you're right that's exactly.
That's my hit. I'm not wishing it or hoping it.
No,
I'm just telling you, I get a hit that they're going to go in there and they'll donate a lot of money to the people.
Well, I think
it would help build things, but not the oceanfront property. They're going to take over.
I think you're absolutely right. It's unfortunate.
So, okay, hit me with the first question.
Oh, you want me to ask you one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Julie Blank says, with the energy shift going on, will people be able to feel it? If so, what kind of energy shift will a person feel? Like feeling ill or something more subtle? I've noticed people are not feeling the same as usual. I don't see it as people feeling ill. I just,
I feel
like,
tired.
yeah, a little tired. But right now, Mercury's retrograde.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't think it's going to be like. I just think it's kind of like when you walk into a room and everybody's down, and you walk into a room and everybody's laughing. You can feel the energy shift, but I don't think it's going to create. I don't feel it creating like super duper major issues. It's just a sense of a change of energy. That's how I pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
How about you? It's the same way?
Same thing, same exact thing, same thing.
Okay.
Okay, this is from Best Predictions. Do you guys see a hurricane hitting Central Florida or East Orlando area?
I see some hurricanes flipping up through the Gulf, hitting eastern Florida, not through the Gulf, I'm sorry, through the Atlantic, hitting eastern Florida. But there's going to be a few that'll hit also the western area of Florida, in addition to Alabama, and coming up through Louisiana and all over in that area.
Yeah, and I even see I see Orlando staying okay, but I see a clip, like it's clipped. They
Like
might suffer some damage. Yeah. Okay, you got one?
Yep. Okay. Dwight Robbins says, hello, Mel and Linda. I love you both. Thank you, Dwight. Please pray for my family coming together since the death of my sister, Adele. So I can turn that into a question and say, do we see his family coming together since his sister passed?
Okay. What's the name of the sister? Is Adele?
Adele.
I feel Adele. I feel her saying these people are so stubborn. That's what I heard.
Right.
So it may happen, but it's a little while away.
There's a couple that want the last word, but I see the number 2, so it could be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, but they will come together. But you hit on something, they'll always want the last word.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Dawn says, can you tell the atmosphere in Atlanta? Will this week be violence? I have to drive to Atlanta this week. You know who else is experiencing lots of violence? Is Washington, D.C. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I see some, but it'll be okay for you to drive through Atlanta. I don't see any harm to you.
I don't see any harm either.
But I'm going to tell you something. Trump opened his mouth again in Iowa about Judge Chutkan, and I keep seeing more charges. And I'm telling you, she's going to hold him in contempt. And if she has to, she will hold him in confinement. I'm telling you, I see it.
Okay, all right. Also, she won't give them any mercy. She'll up the date for the trial.
Oh yeah, and he's trying to say she's prejudicial because of the way she handled the January 6 people and all this. His lawyers need to tell him to shut up.
It doesn't matter. They tell him, he doesn't listen.
I still see 2 of his lawyers leaving.
Okay, good.
All right, you go ahead.
I just did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, hit me. Barbara Mecca. Hi, Mel and Linda. When Trump is found guilty of promoting the January 6th insurrection, will he be barred from having a presidential funeral? That's a good question.
I see a presidential funeral. I see some sort of hoopla for the sake of his minions. Like they don't want to create but it's, it's for him. It might even be the family makes a big deal out of it, but I do see his body laying in state at the Capitol.
Well, he's entitled to a presidential funeral unless you can prove that he wasn't president.
Yeah, it won't be done by then. It's sooner than later for him.
But after he's croaked, they will find out that there was, well, they know already there was significant interference, in 2016. Yeah. That's not over yet either. So I agree with you. I do see him laying in state somewhere, but
there won't be no library because he didn't read anything.
Oh, yeah, right. At least too cheap for that.
So,
I agree with you.
Yeah. I definitely still saw some sort of thing, but it's to calm his people down. And I also feel that, you know, they're so relieved he's gone that they're just happy to do whatever needs to be done.
I don't think they'll make him a martyr when he passes away.
No. Somebody wrote me and told me at one, I think at Iowa, he was taken away by ambulance. And I looked and looked and couldn't find that. So I said, I didn't see any of that, because you know the news would have ran with it.
I would have been all over the news.
Then someone was saying he left early because he wasn't feeling good. Maybe an ambulance came over and checked his blood pressure or something.
Wonder if his nose grew any longer because all the lies he told.
But he's not well.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, his health is not good.
Right. So what do you think about Ivanka's grave site that they're letting?
Say again?
What was his ex-wife's name? Ivanka. Ivanka's grave site.
Ivana.
Bedminster.
Ivana, I think.
Okay.
Ivanka's his daughter, right?
I don't know. One of the other.
His ex-wife, what did it say the gravesite?
The gravesite is all run over with weeds and it's not being taken care of at all. People took pictures of it and they're putting it all over.
Well, because it was all about, him making the pomp and circumstance and, the kids, oh, we're going to bury our mother, blah,
But
blah,
even
blah.
the kids, if I was a daughter, I'd be insisting my mom's grave be taken care of.
Of course, but what does that tell you? They're entitled and they don't care.
They don't care. It's always about them. And he wanted her buried there so he can consider it a cemetery.
Right. But that shows you what kind of people they are. And I'm sure she's directing it from the other side to say, this is an eye-opener, folks.
Well, it's interesting that she died like a Russian would die, accidentally slipping down a flight of stairs. And also that she was coming into the last year, she had to keep her mouth shut about him.
She fell out a window on the first floor.
She flew downstairs.
I know, I was being facetious. I think it's metaphor what they're doing to her grave.
Mm-hmm.
It's all grown up with weeds, and that's a metaphor of what Trump did to our country.
I know.
And it's metaphor. That's what my
got no use for you. He doesn't pay a bit of attention.
No, he doesn't care.
No.
He
was mad about McCain lying in state.
Exactly. Anyway, all right. My turn or yours?
Your turn.
Okay. Frida Farrick says, hi, wonderful Linda and Mel. Hi. When President Biden wins the elections in 2024, will something be done to stop the people who lie for a living on the right-wing fake news channels? They've done so much damage to our country. Oof, I see accountability, and I think with lawsuits, like what went on with a certain so-called news network, and there's a couple more lawsuits coming out.
There are. What
I see that's going to come back, remember not so long ago, if there was an ad for, let's say, a Republican candidate, they also had to put up one for a Democratic candidate.
Yes.
And I think they did away with that. Well, that's going to come back.
Okay.
It's going to make it seem more fair.
Okay, good. That's what I'm feeling too. And see, eventually he's getting ready to go. I don't know if that means go to jail or go physically, but he's getting ready to go.
I agree.
Water Lily said, will Texas Governor Abbott ever be removed from office and face consequences for the horrible things he has done?
My guides tell me he'll be called to accountability.
Yeah.
I see him voted out. And
that's not till 2026, I think.
I don't know if he'll be in that long.
Oh, so they might do a recall or something?
I see a special election in Texas.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
Okay.
Well, he's going to be charged with stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, good. He's just a horrible man.
Oh, please.
I say put him out there in his wheelchair in the blinding heat and then don't give him water.
Or put him in the middle of the river with that razor wire and those pontoons and tell him to swim.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's terrible to say, but
I know. So
Anyway.
go ahead. What's your question?
Silvio Munoz, hi, Mel and Linda, questions. Why a special counsel for Hunter Biden? Is it a blessing in disguise? That's number one. Number two, Hunter's attorney says DOJ prosecutors changed their decision on the fly on plea deal. What happened? Is it political pressure? Thank you.
It's political pressure.
I see political pressure. But if there's a special counsel, that could be a blessing in disguise.
Right.
I see another plea deal.
And you guys don't lose faith, because pretty soon you're going to see the results of scorned women coming up to vote. Not only is Biden going to win, there's going to be huge amount of Congress people, senators. It's going to change the whole course of this nation.
Right. And here, let's go back to Georgia for a moment. The judge in Georgia, whoever they decide on, is not going to put up with any shenanigans
I
from
felt that too. Yeah.
And Fani, I think is how you pronounce it, Fani or whatever.
Funny. Yeah.
She's got some things up her sleeve, and she's going to come out with some bombshells really soon.
Now, she told Trump, you better show me your proof that I had an affair with a prisoner. And if you don't, you're getting sued for that too.
Oh, she's going to go after him.
He doesn't have proof.
He doesn't have
Hearsay.
He's just trying to tarnish her reputation. And guess what? It's going to come out that he lied about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Will there be a special counsel for the Trump kids and Kushner?
I hear yes.
Okay, cool.
I heard a big
See,
yes.
listen, you guys, I'm sorry, but how long till the next election? So this November, it'll be a year. So this is August, September, October, November. So a year and 3 months. So 15 months.
So much can happen between now and then.
I know. And I'm wondering even if Trump will be on as a candidate, because so much is coming down. But once the Trump exit, once they know Trump won't make it, I see a lot of things just sort of changing. People stop talking so much.
My psychic light bulb just went on. And at some point, I've got a funny feeling Chris Christie will run for president on the Democrat.
He is on the Republican bill.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's the one that's talking trash about Trump, but he's really low in the numbers.
Yeah, but at some point, he'll be really high in the numbers. And I don't know if this election or the next, he'll be a Republican candidate for president.
Yeah, New Jersey said he was real good with the big thing that happened, the hurricane.
I don't like his politics.
But they said that he really was underhanded on a lot of stuff. They haven't forgiven him.
But, distant future, he could very easily be president. That just hit me.
Okay.
But not any time, not this next election cycle.
He's kind of a putz, and he's a little too mean for me.
I don't like
Trump. He says things that are inappropriate.
I don't like him, but
he won't win. I don't see him as president ever.
You don't?
Nope.
I just wonder.
Nope. Somebody else Republican could win, but not him. It'll be a while before a Republican gets in there.
You're right. Yeah. But at some point, I see him as nominee. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I see his health suffering. So,
he's got
my God, we're going to have rain pretty soon. You got to be kidding me. It's hot outside, muggy.
Oh my God. It's cold here in Chicago. It's 72. And it's raining. It's supposed to get down to 63 tonight, which is
it's 72 right now here.
Okay. Hawaii bound. This is somebody from Hawaii. Hawaii bound says, hi, Linda and Mel. I suffered a head injury a couple years ago in a car accident. I'm still dealing with the repercussions from it. Do you see any medical advancements to help people with brain injuries? Hugs to you both, and hearts are with Hawaii. I do see a lot of improvement coming for closed head injuries.
Not for a while, though, a couple of years away.
Oh, yeah, it's going to take 2 or 3 years. But I do see significant improvements in treating those sorts of things. The answer is yes.
Yes. Just like they have new stuff that's starting to remedy spinal cord injuries.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, so Robin says, Trump's latest social media posts Jack needs to lock him up. Do you think there'll be repercussions for what he just did, talking trash about the judge?
Absolutely. That's what I said in the beginning, that Judge Chutkan is she's not going to put up with this. And I see her expediting the trial, but I see her holding him in contempt for his remarks in Iowa about her.
Okay.
And she's gonna restrict him from social media, saying anything about the case whatsoever. He might file an appeal for his First Amendment rights, but I'm telling you, she's gonna hold him in contempt, and I see at least 3 charges.
Wow.
And I don't know if she'll put him under house arrest or put him on a monitor and restrict him from traveling. Then Trump's going to say, "Oh, it was done because I'm running for president." Da, 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 da. But every time he opens his mouth in the future, he better be careful.
But he's telling him, "I don't care." That's what he's telling him.
Well, he might not care, but when he keeps getting hit with more contempt charges, at some point he'll learn.
Okay. Yeah, he thinks oh, you know what he thinks? He thinks his people will rally.
Right.
Grab arms and do crazy things. And I don't see them doing that.
Well, look what happened to the January 6th insurrection. It bit him where the sun doesn't shine. And so, what part didn't he learn from that? I mean, he does have a well-organized campaign. I'll say that. But, I mean, he needs to shut his mouth.
He thinks he's going to win. He's not going to win.
Nope, I don't see him winning either.
So Melissa said, "What's going on in Marion, Kansas?" The editor of their newspaper said he received a government document from someone showing a legislator had been driving without a license for years. He told them he didn't intend on using the information, but was apparently concerned that he received it illegally. That's what he said he thinks is the reason that the police raided his newspaper office and took his computers. By the way, his elderly mother died too.
And they raided her house and took her computer. And I read what they did was illegal under federal law.
Yes.
So they're going to have huge lawsuits against that.
They're in huge trouble.
And probably some criminal charges as well. And I'm just thinking, with as much money as I see they're ultimately going to have to pay out, it just might bankrupt the police department. But whoever, that was political. I'm telling you, it was political.
It was political and something to do with that woman.
Correct. Absolutely.
And they're already feeling the heat, by the way.
Oh, they're going to be able to prove that it had something to do with the person that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Jay Bardwell says, will Parent Plus student loan borrowers get included in relief programs such as SAVE program? We are eligible for it right now. I see them included in it.
That's what I'm feeling too.
Okay. That's what
what do you think about Manchin talking about running? I saw him on some speaker thing. He said, if I decide to run, I'll win. Oh, nope. Yeah. Why do I feel him and Cinnabon are nothing burgers?
Well, I think what they're thinking, okay, they're really, they're dressed in Democrats' clothes, but I think they're really Republicans.
Oh, he said he was changing from a Democrat to an independent. I said, I thought he was a Republican.
But what I see is if somebody is running on a Democratic or Republican ticket and they get elected under that ticket, and then they get in that elected position and they change, I see states passing legislation where if they do that, then they can have a special election, because typically in those states, it's like the party that won, that, like, if I'm a Democrat and I win, I'm the Democrat. If a Republican wins, Republican. But if they change parties, I see legislation saying
they're going to change that. Also, they're going to make them pay back all the money they put in towards them winning.
That's correct. So when Manchin said, "Oh, they'll run on a no label party or something," the reason they're doing that is because they figure if they run, they can get enough votes to deflect votes away from Biden, and that'll put Trump in the presidency. That's what they're thinking, or put their candidate in.
Okay.
But it'll blow up in their faces.
Yeah.
So I think, after all this, I don't know. I don't see much of a career for Manchin.
Yes, exactly. Me too.
Or Cinnabon.
Yeah, they're all going. Exactly. Cinnabon is going to lose horribly.
big time. All right.
Okay, your turn.
Vivian says, hi, Mel and Linda. Thank you for all you do. Love you both. Thank you. That was very nice. Okay. Robin Rosenberg, I think. Robin Lisa Rosenberg. Hi, Robin Lisa Rosenberg. Hi, Auntie Mel and Linda. Looking forward to Monday. Since 2014, I've lost my husband, father in 2019, and mother in 2022. I hope you see good things for me in 2023 and before and beyond. I'm childless, so I'm not a parent. I'll be 62 in October. Well, I don't foresee any more tragedy.
Yeah,
That's the good news. And I see more balance coming.
right. We normally don't do personal readings,
Right.
but I see some excitement, maybe even another person coming in our life in 2 years.
Right.
Okay. When do you see the government, Rob said, when do you see the government shutdown happen over not passing the 10-1 deadline? Do you see a CR/continuing resolution to kick the ball down the court? Or do you see an absolute shutdown?
I see them kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. They're going to show their ass. They may shut it down for a little bit, but.
And if it does shut down, that's a good thing for the Democrats.
Yeah.
But remember, a lot of people then don't get paid.
Exactly. That's what Trump did. Remember, he put all those federal 800,000, and he said they don't deserve their 2-point-something% raise cost of living. No, don't give it to them. They don't deserve it.
But he got his.
I thought those people, how would they dare vote that man in again?
But he got his salary, didn't he?
Oh, he sure did, and he lied about giving it to others.
Yeah, and you know what? I do see his presidential salary taken away.
Oh, okay, so that means he will be found to be guilty of sedition.
Right.
Okay.
And I see Trump, I've always said this, in Chicago Trump Tower. I don't know if he owns it or not, but I had this vision. Every time I go in the city and I see that building, I see those crane taking those letters down. But my joke is they should just take down the T and leave up rump for a while.
Yeah.
But I see I see that building being sold, and I see those letters off that building.
Wow.
So there we go. All right. My turn, right?
Yeah.
Mama Duke said, I was wondering if you could tell me about my daughter's father that passed. It was horrific, but I'd like to know he's okay. Typically, we don't do these kind of questions, but I'll go ahead and answer it. I feel him at peace on the other side.
I feel peace too.
Right.
As ugly as it can be, they're being protected over there.
Yep.
Anne said, "What will the price of used cars ever go down next year?"
I think so, because I see the market being flooded with new cars and different kinds of new cars and all that stuff. So that'll bring the prices of used cars down. Yes, it's all about supply and demand.
Yeah.
But I think next year, I think you're right. I see more like the number 11. So it could be 11 days, 11 weeks, 11 months.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Dinah says, hello, Linda and Mel. You wonderful stars. I don't know about how wonderful, but there you go. Right. Will the Republicans be successful in getting information to impeach Biden? They have nothing.
They got a nothing burger, but they're desperate to try to take squirrel. They're trying to make people all focus in on that. Oh, Biden's corrupt. It's just filtering out. It's just not gonna. Who's their choice? Trump? I don't think so. Because now, Jamie Raskin has brought up that they're really going to start looking at Jared and everybody, because they didn't do that. These Democrats get too nice. Now they need to play dirty. Now they need to say, well, what about, because the Republicans love to do what about?
Well, if the Democrats and the independents did what the MAGA people are doing and played the same game, other than the lies, oh my God, the MAGAs will be the first to scream. Oh, just tell.
Hi, you guys. Sorry, I had a quick call from Kaiser. Okay, so where were we?
I forgot what I was saying, but Was it about impeaching Biden? I think they don't have
Oh, they don't have a foot to stand on.
But what I was, yeah, it's the double standards.
Breaking news, you guys. A judge has ruled that young people in Montana have a constitutional right to a healthy environment in a first of its kind climate case.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You know, my guides had shown me that there was going to be a lot of judges coming out with legislation saying that we have the right to clean air and clean water and all of that. So yay, I'm glad.
And you know what? The cool thing is these young ones are the ones who are going to make things happen.
Absolutely.
Like those two young men in Tennessee, you ain't seen the last of them.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet on that one.
Yeah. So Lynn asked, and this will have to be our last question. Sorry, honey, I got to take the baby to.
Oh.
Texas is price gouging on water via Corix company. Has gone up 2 times in 3 years. My bill went from 40 to over 95. Ashamed to say, I now sink bath. Will this change?
That's over 100% increase.
Oh, I know.
I see that changing. It's going to take a while because
yeah, and I see some corruption going on there.
Of course, because I see it funneling, you know, to who. But I see legislation federally coming to say that these companies can no longer price gouge.
Okay.
I mean, I understand a profit, but to price gouge, Yeah. And I see that becoming illegal at some point. They'll put a limit onto how much they can raise things. And I see a limit put on credit card companies too, because, you know, juice loans used to are illegal, but now credit cards companies are charging up to 23-30% interest. You know, they give you the 0 interest, and then once you're with them, your interest rate goes sky high.
And they charge you past amounts.
Correct. And people can't pay it. And so I see legislation coming to curb that as well.
Okay, thank you.
So,
all right, honey. You guys pray for my Lulu.
Prayers to
They're
Lulu.
dropping her off. They're going to take her, and the doctor's going to see her in between clients because they were booked today.
Let me know what they say.
I sure will.
All right, sweetie.
Bye, you guys.
Like my channel.